Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining me once again on this reverse recruitment 0% growths LTC. We're in for the long haul today, so I've brought along another guest for the ride.
Hi there, I'm Justin, flashing by younger brother. You might have seen me in the comments as Kabos667.
Yeah, we played this game a lot, as younger kids, so it's kind of nice to return to it, and a lot has changed, but we still, I certainly enjoy the game. I know you don't play it like these days, but it's nice to...
the royal we played this game.
Yeah.
I did manage to clear it 2 times, once on normal, once on hard, but that was the extent of my exposure to this game.
So we're opening it up. Khalil is killing that sniper with one of our few blizzard tones because we don't want him to mess with our formation coming up. We're gonna send some of our flyers farther forward in the weak to bows, so this gives them a little more wiggle room. Nailah has consumed our singular energy drop. Let me get this run, which lets her one round some of these generals. Or rather, all of these generals, but she won't actually fight all of them just yet. She ends up being the best target for that stat booster because being a Laguz unit, when she transforms, she effectively doubles the effects of that energy drop. So a +2 strength boost ends up being a +4 damage boost every time she attacks, and she basically always doubles, so it's +8 damage. You get the idea. It's good.
Big numbers, big good.
Big good. So we want to move Rafiel, our Heron, forward so that he can do his refresh stuff. But moving forward means moving into enemy range unless we build this kind of complicated looking wall here. We've given Elincia the men stat in case she takes damage from a sniper, because she can live one hit and she heal it right back. But Nailah has the Provoke skill, and she will tend to draw the aggro of the ranged enemies, even the snipers that could do a lot of damage to Elincia and Marcia. So that's kind of how we're stratting things out on the first turn. And all of this is to accomplish our goal of killing lots of enemies, because there's a counter in the top right that tracks the total number of unit deaths on this map. This includes red units, this includes green units, we can see there are a lot of those. This also includes blue units, not that it ends up being to our advantage to kill any of our own units, but any unit death progresses that counter, and our goal is to get to 80. So, a lot of combat.
Yeah, and the 80 objective for, units gone or dead, I think contributes towards the English title they gave this chapter, From Pain Awakening. But the Japanese has no mention of the word pain or blood or anything of the sort. It's just Mezame no Toki, which is Mezame is like the noun referring to an awakening from the verb mezamatsu, and then Toki is a character. Normally there's a different character they use for like a time period, but this one I kind of learned a bit more about when I was studying Chinese, pronounced ke in that language, and it refers to a particular instance or moment that has significance to the speaker or whoever's present for the conversation. And so when you combine, this verb for the point where you open your eyes in the morning, getting out of bed, instead of just the English like, oh, I'm awake, that's like just conscious as opposed to physically opening your eyes. And now you have Toki, and so the two together, I think a more accurate or perhaps appropriate translation would be the moment of awakening or the eye-opening instant. Not that the English translation is bad here. It's just a bit more liberal, artistic.
Yeah. In case you guys couldn't tell, Justin knows Japanese and some Chinese. So
yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Yeah,
4 years in college and a semester or 2 abroad for each country.
Yeah, it's not like you've traveled all over the world, studying languages or anything.
just a bit.
All right. So with that knowledge in our minds and in our hearts, we're going to trek forward here and try to get Nailah into the thick of things. She's, of course, just invincible and amazing. So we want to send her as deep in the paint as we possibly can.
This is my favorite part of the chapter.
So we're going to smite Rafiel forward with Mordecai, who's the big smiter. Heather gets involved as well. We'll see what she's here for later, beyond just the shove. And then after we've killed a few enemies here. Rafiel gets to do a 4-way vigor.
And this blows my mind. Instead of just killing 4 units, we go over the trees. And now we're attracting all the aggro. And then this one right here.
Wait for
it's
it.
the best. Look at it. Woo! We're straight through all the units. Pass.
Yeah.
Showing the value.
Yep. Nailah has her typical pass provoke skill combo. And the way that the pass skill works is that if you move through enemies, it kind of lets you path in ways that you normally couldn't, as long as you end up within your normal movement range. As Haar uses the hammer there to finish off the general. So, like, bonk indeed. Even though Nailah, like, can't, with her knight movement, do all that movement that she did previously, because of the pass skill, letting her move through enemies, the game just lets her, and it's really, really funny.
Yeah, I thought, this was going to be another map of just, like, very tight, hyper-optimized clearing, and in a way, it is. It didn't expect it to involve flying over the trees and sending Nailah as deep into the paint as possible, as you pointed out earlier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because not only do we want Nailah to, like, kill enemies, we want her to increase her strike rank, because her S rank strike takes 90 hits. Like, per attack, you get 1 point of strike rank. It takes 90 hits to get to the next rank, which is maxed out, which is plus 5 damage on her attacks. And, oh boy, if you think she's good now, just wait until she caps out her strike rank and double S. So, it not only is efficient to use Nailah, it's beneficial for her long term to see as much combat as we can send her away. And then here we're sending Nephenee and Marcia way up there toward the right side. It's kind of a 3-lane map, not wholly unlike a League or a first-person shooter map. The green units kind of fill out the upper, and I guess that's what, top and bot lane in League terms.
Right.
As we go mid lane with our own army here. But we can sort of have Elincia and Haar help with top lane. Nailah is going crazy in the mid, and gosh, is this how you just talk all the time in League?
Yeah, and it's funny because there's a special game mode called ARAM, which is all random, all middle, and the fact that you've shuffled your units in reverse chronological order in a sense kind of reminds me of this. It's a very popular game mode in North America. We're kind of known as the for fun region internationally because we have more players playing normals and ARAMs instead of ranked. Because there's 2 million players playing ranked in North America, and we have 5 million people playing the game, as opposed to Korea, where it's 3 million people playing the game and 3 million people playing ranked. Things like that.
Yeah, a little more intense there. Yeah. So Marcia is really well suited to handle this group of mages over here. That like small phalanx of like plus shaped units with the halberdiers and the soldiers, they don't move until later turns. So Marcia's totally safe from, any danger they would pose. Nailah is just having a romp, as you would expect. The only enemies that she isn't just outright killing are the ones that she can't counter, like those warriors with the hand axes, which are kind of annoying because they have enough speed to not get doubled by Ike or Khalil, who are the other 2 units that we're going to kind of send up that direction. So we can't one-round them easily. And we'll have to spend some extra resources and extra thought, getting through them.
Yeah, and speaking of thought, every time you attempt this map or any other map or heavy NPC maps, things like that, you're basically competing against yourself for this slow turn clear. What is the driving force behind what keeps you mentally involved in this process as opposed to another game where you're versus a player like Pokemon or Smash or first person shooter League, things like that? What is the reason you come back and say no, 5 turns, 4 turns, 2 turns isn't good enough, it needs to be lower?
Right. Okay. So yeah, if there are no existing runs, you are competing against yourself, which is the case here. There were no reverse recruitment, 0% Croats, LTCs to refer to. There was, and there may still be, I'm not sure, one other person doing a reverse recruitment, 100% growth LTC. And I talked to him, shout out to Mantis, I don't know what you're up to these days, but talking to Mantis was helpful because we compared some turn counts, and the growth rates will differ, and Mantis will have, in a 100% growth context, more tools as time goes on due to the better stats. But in certain maps where you just get a fresh new army, it's basically the same. So there were a couple maps, I'm thinking of like 2-2 in particular, where Mantis's turn count was better than mine, and that inspired me to, through competition, do better in my own clip.
Right.
The other like big motivator is whenever I clear a map in, say 5 turns, but it was close to a 4 turn. Like, I needed to kill 10 enemies, and I killed 9 by turn 4 or something like that. Or however the math works out. So in the case where, like, I can feel that I'm close, that motivates me to kind of push further and, see if I can find enough optimizations to have a, like, concrete, discrete improvement in turn count. So, and then other than that, it's just kind of fun to, like, solve that puzzle,
And it should be, yeah, if you're going to spend this much time on it.
Yeah. Gosh, I spent, how long has this been now? I started gameplay in, I think, May of the previous year, May 2021. So it's been over a year and a half of, like, doing this kind of thing. So yeah, and it is fun, coming back and talking about things and answering YouTube questions and batches, and just seeing other people also get excited about this thing that I've been excited about for a while. Okay.
Now,
go ahead.
Go ahead. And I just, every time we open Joffrey's inventory, I see the short spear, and I'm irritated because I don't know why it's called a short spear as opposed to a short javelin or some other thing. There's got to be some explanation to why they chose the name short spear.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could find something in the Japanese later.
Yeah, maybe I'll go digging for it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I know it's like a tradition at this point in the series, but I know in later games they actually have like iron javelin, steel javelin, which are in that case in like Fire Emblem Fates enemy exclusive weapons. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not sure what's behind that name convention. Here we get to kill a warrior. We had to weaken that guy with Khalil's Blizzard previously, but between that hit and Ike's attack there, we're actually able to deal with him. Which we couldn't really do efficiently on enemy phase. And now
we're back to shoving units.
We are back to shoving units for sure. Let's see. I think Khalil needs this shove from Nealuchi here in order to... Yeah, she's going to attack a general. And with an Ike support, I'm pretty sure she can one-round the generals, even at this late point in the game, with just a straight-up L-Fire. Nope, not L-Fire. All right, we're thinking. We are looking very intensely at that warrior. Oh, okay. We just attacked that guy. I guess that makes sense, because we do need to, like, take down the warriors over the course of multiple rounds of combat, so getting some damage in on him helps that effort. And at this point, that little phalanx, that plus sign group, does start to move. So we will need to skedaddle out of there.
No chicken wings to go for them.
Nope. Ooh, I should mention Makalov and Kieran. Not only are they helping us with rescue drop utility, but they have an A support, which was gained earlier by, I think, 3-7. They were off in the corner, being bros, hanging out. But at this point, there is a base conversation you unlock if you have an A support with them. They replace Void and Mist. And that base conversation rewards you with a Spirit Dust, which is a magic stat booster that will see some use later in the run. So, get a bit of long-term benefit out of the whole deal.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then we've also given Marcia and Nephenee, I guess. Nephenee, potato. We've given them C support, which is a slight hint as to which army Marcia will be joining in the future. Alrighty, Haar is equipped a Horse Slayer, so he is not the preferred target of those dudes up there, Paladins. But I figured, like, if he was going to do some combat, it would be good to have him equip that weapon and maybe get some kills in. Fiona, oh yeah, I haven't even mentioned this yet. Fiona has no weapon. We talked about that in 3-11, but, you know, she replaces Tabarn. Tabarn has no items, and therefore Fiona has no items. So, sad day for her.
Or Fiona.
Yep.
So while we've got another round of red and green units going here, I don't know how many videos ago it was, but there was a thread of comments that I eventually chipped into, and the subject of Pokemon came up, and I wanted to bring it back to my specific comment about your somewhat signature Custapberry S Cavalier. If you could enlighten
Right.
the crowd here.
Right. Okay. So what do I think of this? So we're talking about Pokemon, and Escavalier is a Generation 5 Pokemon, and Custapberry is a held item you can give to any Pokemon. Once upon a time, and by that I mean high school, I competed on the Pokemon Online Battle Simulator, which has a ladder matchmaking system, and I was able to reach number 1 on the ladder with a certain team of Pokemon that featured, among others, Custapberry Escavalier. So what does this do? This means that the way that the Custapberry works is that if you are at low HP at the start of a turn, your next move gets priority. So like the move Quick Attack, where it hits first, any move gets that property. And what you can do to activate this is you can use the move Endure, which it's kind of like the Blessing Gambit in Three Houses. It lets you live a hit with 1 HP. And so you endure a hit, you get to 1 HP, or, you know, suitably low. And then the next turn, the Custapberry activates before they can do anything and gives you priority on whatever move you want to use. And Escavalier is a Pokemon that has a really high attack stat. He can use moves like Mega Horn, Iron Head, Reversal. And so you can live a hit that you're not supposed to with the Endure move, and then, you know, come out swinging wildly before the opponent can do anything, which can mess people up if they don't expect it, and at that point in the meta, no one did. So it was kind of a little signature flashing fire moveset that helps me peak at number 1 on the ladder.
Yeah, suddenly the fast fire type Pokemon no longer instantly Gibbs the steel
Right.
bug type with slow speed but monstrous attack. And we have the Snack Mage. Hello, Ileana.
Hello, Eliana. She also has no weapons. She replaces Ina, but it doesn't really matter at this point. She's in the lower left corner. We're going to send Nailah even deeper in the paint versus a bunch of other like named units. She is not affected by stillness. Fun fact. And we're starting to climb up there in the unit count. We've been able to, you know, deal with these warriors. Elincia, you can see in the top left, has gone to fight some stationary generals, whom she quads. She has the Adept skill, so she could have activated on that general and gotten 1 extra hit and it killed him. She did not. It's kind of fine. Also, yay, Haar. Haar gets a 1-round unit that joined us in the prologue of the very first chapter. Well, words. Yes.
Go Haar.
Go Haar. It is funny how we have to cheer for Haar every time he does something now, right? Because, like, he's not bad. He does a lot of good things, but his glory days of combat are in another universe.
Yeah, there was a switch from your username being Delnhar7 to what it is now, Flashing Fire.
Oh, yeah. Gosh. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. So, Delnhar 6 is what it was. Like, Haar with 2 A's. Yeah, that was one of my old usernames on, like, forums and for Pokemon purposes. Gosh, if any of you recognize that username, you are OG. Okay.
Points for me.
Points for you. Yeah, Haar was the basis of one of my first online usernames. And if you've played Vanilla Radiant Dawn, that should be no surprise the reason that is. So we're starting to wind down here. We have, I forget why we battle saved. It might just be a safety save, you know, because we're deep in the run. We have thinned out the enemy numbers to the point where we can't just make a lot of progress with enemy phase combat, and we will need to, you know, make a lot of player phase effort to defeat units that have range or don't move, or we can't efficiently 1-round like that Swordmaster there. So Khalil has Been fighting some generals, and then Nealuchi is actually going to get involved in some combat. We haven't seen much of that lately. We are, of course, going to need Rafiel to not get rescued. He's going to be the one, you can see this formation, you can see where this is going. He's going to do the refresh.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm. Just like
I think it's so funny that the shove option is available on that character.
Yep.
Like, well, you could shove someone, or you could give them a turn back.
Yeah. So Khalil doesn't one-round that guy because she's not using a forged weapon. She doesn't need to, and she's out of Ike support range. So we're in no hurry to kill that guy. He's stationary. Joffrey has just enough speed to... Hey, short spear. There it is.
Yep. Triggered.
Yeah, he activates Soul. That's kind of fun with a bow. Tier 3 Silver Knights get bows if they had lances previously. And in this case, it's more accurate than the short spear. So, optimal.
And then we score big here.
We do score big, and I'm pretty sure that's 100% chance of finding that particular rescue staff on that particular turn, because her class gives her plus 60% chance. Her Buyer Them is at best, that gives her plus 20% chance. And then her skill stat, if it's at least 20, that's enough to reach 100, and I'm pretty sure it is. I didn't actually look it up because I was lazy, but woohoo, oh well. So I'm pretty sure that's 100% chance of finding that rescue staff, and there was no need to battle save for that in particular.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean on this turn? And then I'm like, oh yeah, biorhythm. It's like tripping and smash.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, because it's deterministic. Like, if you know your turn counts in advance, you can predict what the biorhythm will be in advance.
As opposed to pressing left and right and smash brawl.
Right.
And you just trip sometimes.
Yeah, it just happens.
I love that blue shiny 4. That's the sweetest sight I've ever seen.
It's very satisfying. And then, speaking of satisfaction, these two have a conversation, by the way, Tanith and Jill. I didn't know that before I was doing this map. I'm like, whoa, dialogue. How about that? Yeah, just with the way reverse recruitment works out. And this Wyvern Brigade...
Savage indeed.
Yes, they are getting savaged all up and down the street. I think they don't move until this turn. And it's a good turn for that, because Nailah's here. She's actually going to level up, bit by bit. And here's the Chad Peleus, who doesn't actually die at this map, so all you Peleus fans out there, rejoice.
I was so excited to get access to dark magic, and then it was kind of disappointing because the suite of dark magic tomes in the game is like, well, have fun with your default item and one thing you get later on, and then maybe one other.
Yeah, they're also like pretty inaccurate. Shout out to Zhark trying with Adept against Nailah right there. Zhark is the Peleus replacement, and he will have a role in a later map. Look forward to that. Yeah, but... Oh yeah, dark magic. It's like, it's kind of a novelty. It is like high might, and there might be a niche for that. There's Bastion doing his best against Ike. We traded away Oliver's Purge Tome in the last map to avoid him spending a use of it here, but Bastion was the last person to move, so we didn't have a chance to trade away his item.
Lo and behold, on the green turn.
Yes.
After the stressful 1 HP general and the ranged units spamming Nailah, 6 damage.
Yeah, there we go. And with that final attack from Marim, we reach the 80 turn, or gosh, 80 turn, excuse me.
80.
The 80 unit death count, completing 3-endgame in 4 turns. So thanks for hopping on and joining me, Justin.
Yeah, thanks everyone for having me.
Please join next time for a video that deviates from the usual format. Take care, everyone.
Toodaloo.
Oh.